Hello and welcome to another Blu-ray update video, a mail day extravaganzas, get the envelope whizzing around here, whatever you want to call it. This is my July 2020 Barnes & Noble 50% off the Criterion Collection Blu-ray sale haul video. Package has just arrived today and it's a bit of a beast. It is a bit of a monster. This is easily, I think, almost by double the most Criterions I've picked up in a Barnes & Noble 50% off sale. So I want to send out a huge thanks to Quack, who sent this over to me, my good friend, who just, never ceases to amaze me with his willingness to help me out and assist me on these Criterion sales twice a year now, I guess. I think last time there was a couple, there was Blue Velvet, I think, and maybe something else. I'm sure there was something the year before. But either way, he's always super cool with helping me out with this stuff because Barnes & Noble don't ship to the UK anymore, with the exception of the Ingmar Bergman's cinema box set, which I purchased from Barnes & Noble last year. And there was some speculation that was because it was a region-free set, but as it stands now, they're still not shipping outside of America, I think. Actually, I think there are a few countries it does ship to, but UK is definitely not one of them. So this took a while to get together because I was like, okay, I want to get some things for the Criterion sale. Can you help me out? And Quack was like, yeah, absolutely, no problem. It being, a pandemic, and obviously in his neck of the woods right now, the whole virus thing is a lot more serious than it is over here. I'm not saying it isn't serious over here, but I think in America they've got it a little bit more worse off at the moment. And so I was not going to ask him to go to a store. Again, I don't know what the whole situation with the virus is like where he lives. I mean, America's a big fucking place, but regardless, I didn't want to ask him to go to a store to pick things up. So I thought, okay, I'll order some things online if that's okay. Send it to your house, then you send it to me, and we avoid the customs, and it can actually be sent overseas. So he agreed to that. I looked online. It was the first day of the sale, back at the beginning of July, I think. And everything I wanted was gone. I mean, I made a big list the day before, really excited, like, oh, I can't wait, and then just gone, out of stock. Just really, like, disheartening, and like, that sucks. But then I saw there's an option to pick up in store, so you can buy it online and pick it up at a certain store. So I checked the stock of the Barnes & Noble store that was closest to where he lives, and they had pretty much everything I wanted. So I asked him if that was okay. I think it was a curbside pickup, so you order it, you turn up, and they'll kind of bring it out to the car, something like that. So he said that was fine, and so I again made the order, like all this stuff, great. And then I got an email the next day saying, hi, we've cancelled your order. I was like, what? I looked at the email and it said, the following items are no longer available at the store you selected. And it was just every single thing that I had ordered. So clearly it was the first day of the sale and someone got in there and just cleaned them out and got rid of all the stuff that I wanted. So then I looked online and it turned out things were coming back into stock again. It was calming down a little bit. I will say the main ones I really wanted that I didn't get to get this time around were The Breakfast Club and Princess Bride. I really want those two, but they've been really tricky to get hold of. And then there's Throne of Blood, which I think I could probably dedicate an entire video to, my history with Throne of Blood. And maybe the Tale of the Lost Barnes & Noble package, if you want to hear my story of the £100 worth of Criterions that I never got. Yeah, I might make a video about that, and that ties into Throne of Blood. But I didn't get Throne of Blood this time, but I did get 11 Criterions. 11. This update goes to 11, actually 13, because there's two UK Criterions I'm going to throw in here and bundle together. So I'm going to open this box up. I've already had a look inside. Again, Quack went above and beyond and kind of just put all packing paper in here and bubble wrap the shit out of all the kind of what do you call them, the delicate digipack editions, and they're in perfect condition. So happy, so yeah, I'm just really psyched about getting these these Criterions. It's always nice when you order some Criterions and it's like a big hefty haul. It's like a shopping addiction. It's just one of those things. But these are just the prestige. These for me go back to like the late 90s when I was looking at the Rushmore DVD from the Criterion collection, seeing all these extras that they didn't have in the UK. And so, I don't know, for me Criterion is special and very expensive. I mean, once this arrived and I had a look on the custom slip again and remembered once again how much I paid for the shipping for this, I almost stormed out of the room and turned to Connie and said, I'm never going to financially recover from this, because it was a lot, the shipping. I'm thinking, like, how much could I have got with the shipping I paid for this? But it was a lot, so I think moving forward, smaller selections in the Criterion Barnes & Noble sale. A lot of people do point out, I'll get to the Blu-ray soon, I promise, a lot of things people point out with these sales now, with the conversion rate from dollars to pounds and so on, and even, you know, $19.99 isn't cheap for a Blu-ray, you know, but with the shipping and stuff, that it doesn't really work out as great deals, and I kind of get that, but at the same time, there are certain Criterions that are never going to come out in the UK, and even then, I really don't care how many Criterions come out in the UK. It's really cool and convenient, but there's something about having, I don't know, an American Criterion. It just feels nice importing this shit. What can I say? Anyway, I'm going to take these out of the box and I'm going to order them chronologically. We're going to go, because the movies that I've selected here, and I've actually seen quite a few of them, so this is probably going to be a really long video because I have a lot to say about some of these films, but I'm not going to review every one of them, but I actually have things to say about the the films that I've bought, which is a rarity sometimes. So I'm going to go chronologically because I noticed that I think it spans almost like 100 years of films. So we're going to start from like the silent era and we're going to go right up to like a couple of years ago. So I'm going to take these out and then let's get into it. Just having these in hand feels amazing. It's so silly, isn't it? It's so stupid. But all you collectors out there will understand. Alright, I have my 13 Criterions in a nice stack right next to me, and yeah, this is really cool. It's quite a lot of range here. I don't think there's many foreign films, but it's a lot of different decades. You know, we've got 20s, there's a lot of 20s stuff. There's a lot of 40s, actually. I think there's 3 films from the 40s, 60s, 70s, and then shooting straight up to the 2010s. Nothing from the 80s or 90s or 50s or 30s. But a lot of cinema represented in this big stack. This is really super exciting. So the first one we're going to go with is from 1921, Charlie Chaplin's The Kid. This is a phenomenal film. It's one of his best, I think, Chaplin. I think this is his first silent feature. Obviously, in the 1910s, he became hugely successful as his tramp character in short films. And this, I think, was him breaking out. And I think doing something that was more personal to him, which is having more drama, melodrama even in his films. Obviously his tramp character was very centered on just, you know, comedy hijinks and things like that. But then again, I haven't seen a lot of his, I've seen a few of his shorts and they tend to be mainly just pure comedy pieces. This is more of it's a proper drama, you know. It's about this young baby who gets discarded mistakenly, and Chaplin's character, the tramp, you know, he's got nothing. He comes across this kid in a bin, I think it is, picks him up and raises him as his own, and he's got this little kind of, you know, little scamp as his own kind of adopted son, basically. But it's about, you know, the son going back to the rightful parents and kind of how hard that is for Chaplin's character, and has one of the great, I think, one of the great films, I'll leave that in for free. One of the great scenes in film history, I think, is just the moment when the kid gets put on the back of that truck and he's like reaching out for Chaplin, tears in his eyes, and it's just a beautiful moment. Jackie Coogan, I think, plays the young kid. Yeah, and this is a film I've seen and love and absolutely wanted to get in a Criterion version. Now the thing with this is that there's a big UK Blu-ray box set of Chaplin's films. Artificial Eye, I think, did a release, and I was thinking, like, that's probably going to be the most cost-effective way to get all of Chaplin's films, but I like the Criterions and they always have really great extras. I think I only have 2 other ones. I have the Gold Rush and Limelight, so I got this one. I still need to get The Circus, which is a fairly new one. I'm glad they released that. I love that film. Modern Times. I already have Modern Times and City Lights, but I'd like to get the Criterions. Then there's The Great Dictator, Monsieur Verdot. There's quite a few of his films that I need to get. But yeah, so The Kid, this one I believe has like it's a really good release. So it's like a 4K restoration of Chaplin's 1972 version. He re-released a few of his silent films many decades later and did new musical accompaniments, I think, and even some narration. I'm not entirely sure. And I tend to be more purist and like the way that they were released. So I'm not sure. Okay, so this has, I don't think it has the 1921 version. There's an audio commentary on the film by a Chaplin historian, a video essay about Jackie Coogan. Yeah, there's an interview with Coogan and with Lita Gray Chaplin, audio interviews, deleted scenes, and titles from the original 1921 version of The Kid. So yeah, I don't think this actually has. I think maybe I'm thinking of the Gold Rush with narration, but yeah. So I'm not entirely sure actually about that in terms of the re-release version that Chaplin did. But I just like the pure, just the way it was released in a way, you know. But at the same time, it's his artistic vision, and it's, you know, Chaplin was doing the stuff that people look down on George Lucas for doing now, which is taking the art that you've made and deciding you want to improve upon it in the way that you think is improving it, at least. So yeah, anyway, The Kid. This is a really great release. This is one I've wanted since it came out. It was just a matter of getting around to it, and I think it's been enough years now that I'll be able to throw this in and really enjoy revisiting this film. Now, would it be right for me to get this big Criterion haul and get a Chaplin film and leave out, I think, the kind of, you know, the redheaded stepchild of silent American comedy cinema, Harold Lloyd? We got The Freshman here. So I love Harold Lloyd. I actually recently watched one of his films, one of my favorite films of his, which I have in the Criterion collection, in my collection, which is The Kid Brother. I love The Kid Brother. You know, I love Safety Last. Speedy's really good, but I think The Kid Brother is like his best film that I've seen. I haven't seen a whole lot of them. You know, with Chaplin, I've seen all of his silent features. With Keaton, I've seen all of his silent features. I haven't seen everything from Harold Lloyd. So The Freshman is one to get. This is one of the old dual format releases, which they don't do anymore. To have the Blu-ray and the DVD, which usually meant that they would release them in these digipacks. And this one is just in absolutely perfect condition. I couldn't be more happy with it. So I don't know much about it, obviously, than it's the college movie. You know, Buster Keaton did one too with College, simply. So, you know, it's 1925. It's right in that period where Harold Lloyd was doing like his best work. So I'm looking forward to diving into this one. 76 minutes. It'll be a really easy watch. This comes from a 4K digital film transfer. There's a new score, there's an audio commentary, an on-camera introduction to the film by Harold Lloyd himself from 1966. 3 newly restored shorts that Harold Lloyd made. The Marathon from 1990, 1919. Did I say 1990? Anyway, 1919, with a new piano score, and then an Eastern Westerner, and High and Dizzy from 1920, also with new orchestral scores by the one and only Carl Davis, one of the greats of silent scores. So there's that, there's a visual essay, there's footage from a tribute to Lloyd from 1963, a 1953 appearance by Harold Lloyd on a TV show, What's My Line? It's just absolutely loaded to the gills with special features. And then you have the film itself. I'm going to open this up now, as I tend to like to do in these videos, just to see what the packaging is like. I have looked at some pictures and things to get an idea, but I often forget these things because I tend to browse at Criterion's quite a bit. So it'll be a nice little surprise to open this up and see. I think that there's like a really nice kind of design on the inside packaging of this digipack. So let's crack this thing open. And what's that? What is that? There's a blue thing on the end of that. Can we get that into focus there? What is that? Will it just come off? Oh, it's stuck on. Oh, what the hell? It's like inside the thing. Will that come out? I'm gonna be very careful here. It's like a bit of rubbery blue material that's kind of inside the digipack, I think. Let's open this up, see if I can figure out, is this on the inside? Yeah, it's on the inside. I pull that out. Oh, it's just come apart in my hands. What? I could probably get this out quite neatly if I just took the thing apart, which I don't really want to do. But then what else am I going to do? I don't know. We'll leave the blue thing stuck in here for another time, I think, because I need to get on with this video. Oh, wait, no, have I got it? No, it's like peeling apart in my fingers. I'm going to try and open this thing up and see. I managed to extract the rest of it. Don't know what the hell that was. Oh, look at that, look at that. I've defaced a Criterion. Let's see if I can... I hope it comes back together nicely. That's all I can say. I hate doing this. It's like the Lone Wolf and Cub set, which has like the hidden poster inside the flap of the spine, which is really cool, but I hate opening it, you know? So hopefully this will just come back together. Ah, beautiful. Just slotted right back in. No creasing. Okay, great. And there's no damage. That was weird, just a bit of like blue rubbery material. Right, I'm going far too much into this thing. Ah, yes, okay, so this was definitely, oh, gorgeous. Okay, so this like looks like a kind of like a college, I don't know what you'd even call it, but you know, like a little book. I don't know. It just really good. It looks like something you'd see from the 20s, I guess. So we open it up. Oh, this is really nice. Really nice. So we got like nice inside artwork, the 2 DVDs and the Blu-ray, and of course the obligatory booklet. Very, very nice. This seems like one of the thinner booklets, but I like the style of it. I like the it has that kind of the bordering with like a little college logo at the bottom. Anyway, so The Freshman, Harold Lloyd, definitely a film I'm excited to see because I love Harold Lloyd. He's just brilliant. So there we go. That's that one. Moving swiftly on. I just don't think it would be right. It wouldn't be proper to focus on Chaplin, to focus on Harold Lloyd, and to leave out the true master of American silent comedy, Buster Keaton. Especially considering he has just entered the Criterion Collection for the very first time, at least on Blu-ray. I'm not sure about DVDs or Laserdiscs, but this is the very first Buster Keaton Criterion Blu-ray, and I think the rights to all the other films are tied up in different companies. And this is the UK Blu-ray. I got it on release, and it is The Cameraman. I love this film. This is a fantastic film. This was his last great film, I think. The next one, Spite Marriage, was just a little bit... something was missing, and then from there his career just went down the tubes, unfortunately. Again, unfortunate is the main word you can use for that. When he signed up with MGM at the end of the silent era, it was the death knell of his career and his creative freedom, and it's kind of tragic, but this was like the last clawing attempts from Keaton to make a truly great film. And it's not one of his best, but there's some wonderful moments in this. It has one of his best endings, I think. If you've seen the film with the camera on the beach, oh, just brilliant. And there's just some really great moments in this film, and I'm so glad that it finally got a proper Blu-ray release. Let me see if I can just dive into this very quickly, actually, and I might even at this point split the video into 2 parts, because this is getting really long and I haven't even gotten into anything yet. But okay, so my Keaton collection right here includes The Cameraman. Here we go. So this is my Blu-ray of The Cameraman. This is a Spanish release, and it is what Zaron Isaac would call a fucking bootleg. Yeah, no one quite enunciates the venom that is appropriate for bootleg than Zaron Isaac. Bootleg! I had to throw that in there. I love that, even though it was sad that he got stung with a load of bootlegs of Doctor Who DVDs, but there's just something so satisfying. When you get a bootleg, you just feel like saying, fucking bootlegs! So this is a bootleg. This is like sold on Amazon in Spain. And it's a fake Blu-ray. You open it up, it's got the nice artwork and everything, but it's just a standard definition transfer slapped on a Blu-ray disc. I think it's probably some sort of public domain thing. So I own it, and I've watched it and enjoyed it, but it's not a Blu-ray. And the same thing can be said for his next film, which was Spite Marriage, again a bootleg Blu-ray. So my Buster Keaton Silent collection is complete, but not entirely HD. So what this Cameraman release does is it finally completes my Buster Keaton Silent high definition collection. By having the film properly in high definition, this is a 4K digital restoration, but also this Blu-ray contains the film Spite Marriage, and I think this one actually is it's a 2K restoration, so it's not just like slapped on there in standard def. This is a high definition. They almost could have made this a double pack like Cameraman and Spite Marriage, but I get the impulse to not do that because really you really should be focusing everything on the Cameraman, and Spite Marriage kind of is that kind of extra film that isn't anywhere near as good. So I understand the impulse. So this has a 4K digital restoration. Timothy Brock's score. which was performed in 2020. There's an audio commentary from 2004. There's also an audio commentary for the Spite Marriage, so that they've really just gone balls to the wall with this one. There's a new documentary. There is a 2004 documentary about Buster Keaton and MGM and that whole, fiasco where he kind of was robbed of his creative freedom. Then there is the Motion Picture Camera, a 1979 documentary about motion picture cameras, and I believe that documentary has been restored in 4K, and they haven't really put it on the back. So I mean, incredible release, and this is one I will love digging into when I get the chance to. I love the kind of design they've gone for there. Incidentally, this monkey on the disc, I forget her name. I think it's Josephine, perhaps, the monkey, and she plays a really great part. Actually, she's on the front cover as well. She plays a great part in The Cameraman. And she had the distinct honor of being the only living creature to have worked on screen in a movie with Buster Keaton, Harold Lloyd, and Charlie Chaplin. I think she appeared with Chaplin in The Circus. Don't quote me on that, though. And Harold Lloyd, she appeared in The Kid Brother. So she got to work with all three of the big three, the kind of like almost like the Mount Rushmore of silent comedy. And I'm sure someone will come in the comments saying, well, you forgot about this person who I've never heard of. But, for me, the big three, Lloyd, Keaton, Chaplin. Well, for me, for everyone, and that's kind of like we're talking 100 years ago now. This is pretty much what has been kicking around for almost a decade. Aha, there we go. The monkey sidekick, the famous Josephine. Yes. So, yeah. So this is a really cool release. Buster Keaton, he's my favorite. I think that Chaplin works best with the melodrama. I think Harold Lloyd just has his own unique kind of style of comedy, and Keaton, I think, just when it comes to just excitement and hilarity, he's just unmatched. And I should say the kid is spine number 799, the freshman is spine number 703, and the cameraman is spine number 1033. Moving on. I'm definitely gonna have to split this up, aren't I? I think I should. I'm almost filming half an hour at this point. So this is quite a big one. But I don't think this is a great release. Yeah, so I've looked at reviews of this, and the films in this box set, they haven't got amazing transfers or anything, but they are high definition transfers. There's a few special features, a couple of interviews here and there, video essays, but nothing extensive. But it does contain a nice thick booklet, 3 films, and it's a nice digipack release, and it's another silent film release. And what's it called? 3 Silent Classics by Joseph von Sternberg. So I think the only Sternberg film I've seen is The Blue Angel from 1930, I believe. I feel like I've seen one of his silent films, though. That's going to bug me. I'm sure there's something that I have seen from him from the silent era. No, it's not. I'm thinking of his work in the sound era with Marlene. Is it Marlene Dietrich? I feel like that's wrong. But either way, The Blue Angel and Shanghai Express. And I did want to get the Sternberg Dietrich set. There is a UK version from Indicator, but I love the artwork of the Criterion. But it's like a really, it's a pricey box set. Digipack again, maybe next time. But this, I just felt like it was something I should get. There's a film in here in the book, which is The Docks of New York. So I need to watch it at some point. It features the 3 films from 1927, the Underworld. In fact, I'll open it up and show you the individual films. But this again came in perfect condition. Really happy with this. I love the black and white and then the silver and black effect on the spine and the back. Just really nicely laid out, I think, in terms of the color, or the shades, I should say, as there's no actual colors involved with the black and the gray. I do own one of these films already in the Masters of Cinema collection, which is The Last Command, which is a film that stars Emil Jannings, or is it Jannings, who's a very famous actor from the silent era. And let's just dive into this and peel off the cellophane. I also just love, very superficially, the font that they've used for this. It's very classy and feels more 30s than 20s, but it is nevertheless quite appropriate. So let's take a closer look at this without the cellophane. Really, really nice. So I like the Sternberg films I have seen, but I haven't seen any of his silent work. So inside we have, packed in very tightly. Oh, the book is really thick, actually. Gorgeous digipack presentations for all 3 films on the inside. So let's get to the first one. We have, from 1927, as I said, Underworld. So I don't know anything about the plot of any of these films except for The Last Command, which I believe is like about the making of a movie, perhaps. So this is his riveting breakthrough, widely considered the film that launched the American gangster genre as we know it. Very interesting. So yeah, so this has 2 scores, no special features. Nice. Okay, so we have a nice, I'm going to take out the disc. This is a really cool image on the inside. We have a nice spread photograph from the film. What was the box I got recently? The Apu trilogy. It was kind of just blank behind. I like it when they fill it out with nice artwork, you know. So there's that. There's Underworld. Put the booklet to one side. The next one is The Last Command. As I said, a film I already own. So this is the legendary M.L. Jennings, yeah, there on the front. This one also has 2 scores by Robert Israel, another by the Alloy Orchestra. So let's just look at the back here. So he plays an exiled Russian general turned Hollywood extra. That's right, I remember him being an extra in a film. He lands a role playing a version of his former self, bringing about his emotional downfall. So this is a brilliantly realized silent melodrama with a witty send-up of the Hollywood machine. So yeah, this is one that I have, again, in the Massive Cinema collection, but I'm certainly looking forward to watching. I'll have to look to see if there's any difference in the transfers. And this one, again, has a nice piece of artwork, well not artwork, a photograph on the inside of the digipack. And then finally from 1928 also, we have The Docks of New York. So this one has 2 scores again, and an interview with Sternberg from the 60s. So very, very cool. And then the booklet itself is a nice thick one. Get a little bit of wobble on there. And oh, this one looks really nicely put together. Lots of nice photographs. Really, really cool. It's just amazing that we still have so much of this stuff from that period in terms of the photographs and the archival material. You know, it's just yeah, we're just lucky to have a lot of that stuff, I think. And I never fail to be appreciative of the wealth of material that is still kicking around from the silent era, and that companies like Criterion are, you know, going to great lengths to preserving in releases like this. So there we go, 3 silent classics by Joseph von Sternberg. Let's put that down, and that is spine number 528. And oh, that's interesting. So the box set is spine 528, and then the 3 films are spine number 529, 530, and 531. I don't think I've seen that before, where the box itself gets a spine above the single titles. All right, let's rattle through this a little bit. Actually, well, do you know what? Should I leave it? Should I leave it there? Well, I could leave it in kind of the silent era. We had like the introduction and 4 silent releases, and I can rattle through the rest, get right into it the next part. Let's do that. We'll make this a 2-parter because I don't want to just post an hour long. I'm sure people would watch it, but we'll split this up for you and for me, and we'll see you at part 2, where there's still 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 more Criterions to go. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you then.
It's alright by me. Apart from the fact he throws cans and calling into a tree. Yeah, he's really cool. Yeah, he's really cool. But he's not quite as cool as you.